using a mold that I made from the Happy Dotting Company. It's mold number 1. If you're interested in looking at any of the molds that she has available, I've left a link to her Etsy shop in the description below. Definitely go and check her out. I've got many molds from her and they're still holding up years later. So I'm still using them. I use UltraCal 30 as my medium to build the molds or to build the stones. And the demold's so nice and easy. And as long as you keep them clean, they'll last forever. So this is mold number 1 that I'm using. It's a tall, round stone, and I've did it a few months ago and didn't know what to use it for. It was just excess UltraCal 30 mix that I had left over, and I filled up this mold, and I didn't know what to do with it until just recently, and I decided I'm going to make a turtle. So that's what we're doing today. So with my charcoal pencil, I sketched on some shell parts or pieces, just odd shapes, not really keeping it symmetrical, just put them on. And then I put on a light green color on the outside, and then I sponged on the darker green inside, and I blended the two sides together. So like the lighter green blends into the darker green, which gives it this third color green that it's made from the two colors that are mixed together. I'm using my blending brushes that I got from Amazon. If you're interested, there is a link in the description below so you can get your hands on some of your own. If not, you can definitely use sponges. You can use maybe an old brush that has seen better days, and it's best to use it as a blending brush rather than anything else. But definitely check them out, see what you like, and just do what you do for yourself, whatever you're comfortable with, and whatever you have available. So I'm just continuing to sponge around the edges, and I'm trying to make the lines a little bit more crisper. I will be putting on additional colors, so I'll be doing an outline of some gold. Now it's a new gold that I just got, so I wanted to try it out, and I love it. Absolutely love it. It's called Glorious Gold from DecoArt, and all the colors that I use will be listed in the description below. So I'm not showing you, or I'm not telling you what they are, only because I filmed this long before I actually post it. So I sometimes forget what colors I use, but I definitely put them in the description so that they're available for you to use the same thing. If you don't have these colors, that doesn't matter. You can do you. Just do whatever colors you have available. You don't even have to go green if you don't want. Make it a brown or a purple. Get really wild and make it rainbows. Whatever you want to do. It's totally up to you. But I basically do the same thing for each one of the designs that I did on there, or each one of the shapes, by putting the light green on the outside, blending it in to get rid of any of the brush strokes, and then adding in the darker green in the middle, blending them together, and then re-outlining again and blending again. So I do this for all of the shapes that are on the top of the turtle shell, and it just gives it that gradient kind of look from light to dark. If you notice on any of the turtle shells in real life, they sort of have this kind of a indent near the base of the shell, and then in the middle of the shape it rises up, so it comes to a point, so, or to a higher ridge. And so that's basically what I'm trying to do, but on the cartoon side of things. I'm not going for anything realistic here, and I do a cute little face on this guy too when it's all done. But I just continue using my blending brush, going back and forth between the light and the dark. And I know there's some spots where I do end up touching them together, but that's okay because later on we're going to clean it all up. Like I said, we're going to put some gold in the middle there just to give it a little bit of shine and bling bling. And we're definitely going to fix it all up with some black paint afterwards. So just try to be mindful as to where you're sponging. But know that if you go a little bit over the lines, you can always fix it up later with some black paint. So that's the nice thing with using the black as the background, is it's an easy cleanup afterwards if you want to really make those lines really crisp. So that's what I do, and I'll show you that a little bit later. I do an awful lot of crafts shows as well that are local to my area. And one of the main requests that I've been getting lately has been for turtles. So that's why I'm doing up these turtles. Hopefully, they will sell well. So I do have another tutorial that I will be posting next week for the other type of turtle that I've done. So stay tuned for that. But that's why I decided to make this rock into a turtle shell. And I definitely wanted to make it look kind of cute, something that you might want to put in your garden, or it's heavy enough that you could use it as a doorstop even, so it keeps your door open. Just cute things like that, or just put it up on the shelf. I understand that turtles can be good luck as well. So definitely something as a keepsake. So this will not be going into my Etsy shop because I want to have it for a client that has requested that I do a turtle for her. So I'm definitely going to see if she likes it. If she doesn't, then I will be putting it onto my Etsy shop. But for now, no, it's just going to stay for this client that I have. But if you're interested in seeing anything else that I have available, my Etsy shop link is in the description below, as well as my Facebook. So if you want to go to any of those and join up into those, I do post an awful lot of additional paintings that I do that I have not done and posted on YouTube. So it's another great place to go to just to check things out. If you like this video, make sure you give me the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss anything. Ring that bell and it'll give you a notification every time I post something new. So now what I'm doing is I am putting on a green metallic paint on top of the shell that I've already painted, and I'm basically just I'm being very haphazard with it. I'm just sponging it on with my blending brush, and then I'm rubbing it with my finger. And what this does is it gets rid of any of the excess and it spreads it around a little bit more and flattens it. So as you can already see on my fingers, I've got lots of paint on me. I'm really into this one because the way that I feel is if you don't have paint on you, you're not into the project. So you got to get paint on your hands, and I do it quite often. So I just use my finger and I rub it, and you can kind of see that it's almost like a just in the center, and it uh, just sort of is there. You don't, it's not overpowering, it's letting the rest of the paint from below come through, and it looks really good, especially after it's been resined. It glitters so nicely. So that's why I do that. Now what I'm doing is a quick cleanup with the black paint. I just want to clear up these edges that I've sponged around because I will be outlining these in gold with this new gold paint that I just picked up. Like I said earlier, it's called Glorious Gold, and I love it. It's beautiful. So it's a little bit lighter than the spun gold that I've always been using, made by the same company, but I definitely like this gold. It's a bit thicker as well, so it does take a lot more to spread along, but like I've told you before in some of my other videos, all you need to do is add just a little tiny bit of water, and it'll spread a lot easier for you. So you would have just noticed there that I had wiped away some of the paint with my thumb. It's because when I lifted up my paintbrush, I didn't lift straight up, and instead it curved and left a little black swirl onto the green spot. So I wanted that off. So while the paint was still fresh and wet, I just take my finger and I wipe it off, and it comes right off really easy because the other paint behind it is already dry. So it helps for getting those mistakes really quickly, and then going back in and touching it up again. But yeah, I just go around all of the shapes that I've made, just to make the edges a little bit more sharper and making sure that they don't touch each other. So I've got to separate them all, and just using the black paint to do this for now is the easiest step to do. And so that's what I'm doing. And I'm just getting it prepped for when I want to do the gold paint around the outside. This also helps too if you do it this way. Instead of wiping off any of the charcoal pencil that's left there, you can just cover it up with the black paint. And I mean, yeah, it'll always be there, but it'll be underneath. So you'll never see it again and it's gone. So I'll do it here on this corner, and so just sharpen that up and then cover it all over. Boom, gone. So you'll never see it again. So again, just sharpening up those edges around each of the shapes and making them nice and sharp, and again, making sure that they don't touch each other. So this is the part of the shell where the head is. So I left that sort of like an oval shape on purpose, and then I'm going to outline it all in gold. So as you can see, that gold it's definitely a different color of gold than my usual spun gold that I use. But it's so bright, it's beautiful, and when it dries, it's got such a nice shine to it, and it's definitely one of my newer go-tos. I'm going to be using this one quite a bit. So, and I've got a bunch of ideas that are floating around in my head, and I definitely want to get trying on those. So, hopefully, I can get some of those videos made for you, and I will get them posted with some new techniques and things like that. Let me know if there's anything that you want to see in the comments below. I read all the comments, try to answer as many as I can, but definitely I love the feedback that I get from you guys, and any ideas that you have that you would like to see, I would love to try. I've never been afraid of a challenge, and there's been a few that I've tried over and over again until I got it perfect, but or at least perfect in my mind. But definitely, I would love to hear from you, telling me what you're interested in seeing on how to do, whether it be maybe another landscape that I've done, natural rock painting, if it's any other animals or anything like that, like dragonflies or butterflies, even flowers. Just let me know in the comments below, and I will do what I can to get those painted and posted up for you. So now I'm just using the same gold as I was using before, going around each of the shapes that I've drawn on there and painted, just to give it that little extra definition. So I've got the nice little glitter in the middle of it, and then outlined in gold to give it that little extra shine. And there will be no bling bling on this, but definitely will have some glitter. Now I'm going to draw on the cute little head. Now he's peeking out from inside of his shell, so I'm just doing a quick sketch here of the shape that I want for his face and where I kind of want it to be. I'm just using the general charcoal pencil, and I'm going to be ending up to paint over top of that like I am right now. So this is just sponging on some of that light green paint that I used around the shell at the very beginning when I was doing the shapes, and I just sponge it all on. And once I get a nice good coat on there, I just let it dry, and then I'll probably put on a second coat just to get a nice even coverage, because the black paint does shine through a little bit with this light color. And so I do put a second coat on there after it's dry. So right now I'm just sponging all that paint on there just to get a nice even coverage that I can. And then I'll go in and clear up those edges with my fine lining brush. And that's what I'm doing right now. So I do have a tutorial if you're interested in how to make these fine lining brushes. You don't have to go out and buy them. There are brushes you can buy that are this thin, but I make my own. I just use old brushes that have seen better days, and the bristles are starting to fray and maybe split or separate. So I cut them down and reuse them. So there is a tutorial in my playlist there if you want to go to that and check it out. So this, what I'm doing now is I'm just using my brush to clean up the edges and fill in any of the lighter spots and give it a nice thicker coat. And now I'm just going to outline it with black, and this will define the actual shape of the head. Making sure that it is divided from the gold paint, because I don't want, like, that gold paint is his shell, so I want his head to be separated from that, and but he's still peeking out from inside the shell, so everything else is going to be dark around him. And I didn't like the shape on the one side, so again, very easy to reshape it and with the black paint, and that's just exactly what I did there on the left side. And just fix them all up and then start with the details. So these are his eyes that I'm doing. I'm using one of my dotting tools from the dotting center. There is a link in the description below for that as well. Now I'm going in, doing his pupils. He's got his nostrils there. And then I put on a cute little smiley face. Just look at him. Isn't he the cutest thing? I'm so happy with how he turned out. So then I finish up his mouth. I give him a couple of eyebrows, and then he's done. So there you have it, folks. Life is what you make it. So get creative.